change your mind? Life and love. Can I change your mind? About life and love. Can I change your mind? About life and love. Can I change your mind? About how you're feeling? About you and your relationship. Can I help you see?
If God called you back, would you go? But if the world called you back, tell me, what would you choose? I know what I choose. If I told you that I wanted you back, God said, if you told me that you wanted my hand, I said, if I told you that I do and we were one, can we put the past behind and try? If I told you, if God told you that, if I told, if God told you that, if I told, if God told you that, if I told, if God said it, if I told you that together we can do it, God said, if you told me to come on and get, if I told you that I'm ready, so come on, can we put the past behind? Can we try? If I told, if God told you that, what you do? If I told, and He'll take you back. If I told, God will take you back. He will forgive you if I told you that. Even when you fall down, would you want me back? He'll take you back. Would you want back? If I told you that. Even when you fall sometimes, God takes you back. Would you want me back? Even though you told me that, baby. Oh yes, God takes I would take you back. Oh yes. Cause God said if you told me that, oh yes, with your God, He said He will. I will take you back. Even when you fall down, He'll take you back. If I told you that, a little children hungry and parents God, He will take you back. You hit on your would you take her back? But God takes you to, you believe in second chances. And He'll take you back. If I told you that, oh yeah. If I told, oh we love you, Lord, we love you, God, yes. If I told, time after time we mess up, but you take us back. If I told, are you gonna choose God? Are you gonna choose? If I told, 'cause He'll take you back.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to Life and Love After Divorce and Grief. I am Cherie J.
And I am Charles Jackson.
And I call him Charles J because I'm Cherie J.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Charles
So
J.
we the J's.
We
You know
the
what I'm
J's.
saying? We want to welcome you back to another edition of
Yes.
our show. We want to thank the Kingdom Purpose TV and radio people and the family, everybody there that is just joining in. We're all growing together. And we just want to thank you for another week We've been showing some really good shows lately.
We have.
We did 2 replays because
Yeah.
we had some people hit us up and said, hey, I missed the show, but can we do a replay? So we're going to be talking to them about the
Yes.
on-demand channel
Yes.
to where the shows we have done, you'll be able to go back and watch them again. But one of the things that we were talking about, you were, in our world news. I love your world news.
Our Soul News, y'all.
Our Souls News for the world news is always so awesome. And, Souls is SOLS.
Situation of
Life stories. So, he's
Right.
giving you a story about a situation of life. And I'm kind of like this one right now. Last time we done did crabs. We done did, what else have we talked about? Them crabs, boy, I'm talking about, man, they had a boil attack.
Crab syndrome going on.
I know, they have boil attacks. So every time you go to Red Lobster, you just think about them screaming. You did that. You did that.
But hey, back in the day, Steven Spielberg did a movie and Drew Barrymore was in it.
Okay.
And everybody thought it was a myth that alligators were in our sewer systems. But it's not a myth.
It's not a myth?
No, take a look at this clip.
Y'all better watch.
Alligators living in New York sewers has been one of the oldest urban legends in American history. The legend goes that in New York, a colony of alligators introduced by pet owners live in the sewers beneath. These alligators were discarded by their owners as hatchlings by being flushed down toilets. Over time, the alligators grew in numbers and became a stable population. Rumors suggest that these alligators are albino, mutated, and even giant. While this seems like a crazy story, there surprisingly is a lot of truth tied to these claims.
Okay, welcome back. Hey, what you think about that clip? The alligator in the sewer line. The man has done actually videoing the alligator, and it's a big one.
Now, for some of y'all, especially y'all down there in Louisiana, down them southern states, y'all know what's going on, don't you?
What's going on, back?
Them alligators and crocodiles, they're looking for their uncles.
Huh?
Because y'all got them shoes and stuff. Y'all wearing them alligator shoes and where them fans at? Yeah.
So what, they gonna come up through the sink in the toilet?
Whatever it takes, they can smell that leather, boy. They can smell their families. They always say elephants have good memories.
The alligators do too?
I think alligators got a good memory, and they're remembering their ancestors, and they're going whatever means necessary. So if it means they have to take your mess to get to their dress shoes, y'all that's got gator shoes and alligator shoes, they coming for you. Better pay attention to the sewer lines.
You hear some noise in your toilet, in the drain line or something, might be them.
Now, for some of y'all that get these animals for pets and stuff,
And then release them.
if you don't want this animal,
Really?
this creature, it's a creature. We go to places to watch it where we are not allowed to get close to
Exactly.
it. So some of y'all that's got them, and y'all don't want them no more, can you please call Wildlife Services and have
Yeah,
them come
for
get
real.
it, quit releasing them in ponds, and that's what scares me about swimming down lakes and
But
stuff.
see, Florida has been overran by Burmese pythons because
Okay.
people would get them as pets and release them. And then you'd hear a cat or a raccoon screaming at night. It'd be them. They're big now, and it's an offset, the ecological format down in Florida.
He sound like he cares so much about them
I
animals,
do.
don't he?
I do.
You really do?
I love animals.
But all I hear about is the ones that's died.
In all my stories, somebody died or something died.
Hey, I got a cousin named Keisha in Norristown. And Keisha, you witnessed with me. She said, Donnie, just don't tell no stories.
Try to
'Cause
tell happy.
we tell some happy stories, and then he'll give his story, y'all, and we just be all into it. We be like this, and by the time he gets to the end of his story, we be like this, y'all. We be sad.
It has a life lesson.
Yeah, it has a life lesson, but let's tell some stories where some people live.
I know it.
You know?
I know it, man.
Now, another thing I want y'all to know is that in watching those alligators, when you look at an alligator shoe, it do look like a head, though. But it's not
Yeah,
part.
it does.
So, y'all please get them gator shoes. You ain't got no gator shoes.
No,
do you?
no, no.
My baby ain't got no
I ain't
gator
got no
shoes.
gators. They coming for us.
And if they are, they alligator shoes. Alabama shoes. Alabama shoes, not alligator.
That's right.
Alabama.
That's right.
You know,
Alabama.
much love to all of our family and everybody down in
Yes,
Alabama,
Alabama.
and much love to Drew Barrymore.
That's right.
She has an amazing show
Yes, she
that
does.
comes on every day, and so
Oh,
I just
yeah.
want to give a shout out because I want to end up on her show. I want to get on her show.
You will, baby.
You know, that's what I'm saying. So Drew Barrymore, I love you, and I'm gonna end up on your show, girl. We're gonna have a good little time because I do song messages from God, and I want to sing on your show.
That's right.
I want to sing with all the
I
people
love to see that.
stepping out in this season. And you guys, I hope you're enjoying the music
Yes.
from the song
Because
Healing
you know I'm
Journey.
mesmerized by your singing. People
Thank
are like,
you
that's
so
your wife?
much.
I'm still mesmerized.
Wow.
It is.
Because praise is what I'll do when I want to be close to you. Because I lift my hands in praise.
That's what I see y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Just on the spot
About
singing.
to turn it off and just go and record the studio. You know what I mean?
You guys make sure you follow us on YouTube at
Right.
Soul's Right House, and you can catch up with our whole playlist. We have a
Yes.
playlist of video and some shows and some conferences. And my song Healing Journey is after the death of my two children
Yes.
and the loss of my father. I decided to sing a song every day to help with my healing. This is before my king
Yes.
came. When he came into my life, I was about at 120 songs
Yes.
at the time. So from 120 to 365
That's a
was
commitment.
so amazing.
That is a commitment.
And it was a
I honor
commitment.
you for that, man. God,
Thank
that is
you.
that is a commitment.
And I want to thank those producers on Voicey, which is where I
Yes.
started, and then ended up on Volico. So those of you out there looking for a studio to record and some awesome producers, please go to Volico. That's VOLOCCO. I want to thank Easy Music and BeatStars and DistroKid and just so
She
many. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to thank so many of y'all producers who are on there, and we're looking to connect with you. We're looking to
Buy
vibe and buy beats from you
That's right.
to take my music to the next level. So you guys help me rein in. I'm in the top 10 on
Yeah.
N1M. N1M
Yeah, you held number one for a
for
long
like 50 something weeks.
Yes.
And so we got about 20 something songs on there that's
Yeah.
vibing right now. So you guys make sure you go on N1M Music's channel on online, and just make sure you follow my music journey, because I'm telling you, in 2025
Oh, it's gonna be.
you're gonna know my name, Cherie
That's
J.
right. And I tell y'all what, all y'all in Knoxville area and surrounding areas, if you want to come to our studio and record,
Yes.
you call her.
Yes, contact Shari Productions, and we will get you in the studio, and we're gonna get you on the map with your music. Those of you
Yes.
all that have gifts and talents, especially those that have dealt with trauma in your life.
Yes.
The whole goal with our nonprofit organization is to help you publish a book or get in the studio with your voice and let it be heard. And more about that, we're getting ready to turn it over to a couple of songs from my healing song journey, and we'll be right back after this. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
I love it. Okay.
Hey, welcome back.
Now, I'm really enjoying the intimacy of being able to now bring the songs alive.
Yes.
You've been hearing them on the YouTube channel. You just see Volico.
Right.
You know, you don't see me singing it.
Right.
But to now see me sing them
That's right.
and bring life to
Right.
them is amazing. So
It's my own
just
little personal concert.
Hey.
I'm mesmerized every time she sings.
hey, you know, and I'm just thankful.
Our first event we did together, the DJ was looking at me because I was crying. I'm touched by her music. But anyway, go ahead.
But I'm just blessed, and I'm thanking you for just allowing me to tap into my gift
Yes, definitely.
and help push me forward. And I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this song journey. And we're looking at pumping up our Soul's Right House in Texas. We're there in
Yes.
Fort Worth, Dallas area. And we're looking to bring our next event there in Texas. We
Yes.
look to be there before August. So
Yes.
between July and August, September, we're looking to bring our event and our pre-opening there in Texas in the Dallas area. So
right.
we're looking for the Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Cowboys. We're looking for sponsorship.
Sponsorship.
We want you guys, and we're going to support Austin East High School here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And you used to go to Rural,
Yeah.
so
we were rivals.
you better
We
know
were
it.
bitter rivals.
And now we
I
are
got an Austin East
together.
woman.
And I got a Rural man.
That's right. We still rule without the school.
You better know it. Now, one of the things I wanted to, after we come back after this video, is to share from some people
Yes.
about how to deal with cheating in your marriage. You know, our show is Life and Love After Divorce and Grief. And the divorce side and the grief side can come with a lot of emotions. It can come from emotions of happiness, sadness, and sometimes relief.
You
might be glad they did what they did because that was your out.
Exactly. But you still have to deal with the emotional damage that it causes, because it can affect your self-esteem, like I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? Yes.
So we're going to let you watch this video just for some insight outside of us, and we'll be right back right after this.
There you have song messages from God. See, right now we got to pray about this nation. And I'm hurting today, so I'm praying. I got on my knees today. I had to pray. Sharing about music, She Will Heal Ministry. After burying my kids, lost friends every day. I know that my trouble they head home, and I know today I heard the word that in the Bible, and I heard His voice say to me, Sherry, follow my word. And I pray. See, I think about my kids every day. And they give me the strength. Worry I memory. Oh, yeah. Now I'm out sharing my story. Because she will heal. Right on my knees. Right on my knees. Hey. Right on my knees. Right on my knees. God turn around and bless me with a grandson that I love dearly. Hey, if you're gonna pray about it, I'm about to get out of here on this song. Gonna believe. See, you can't pray about something and don't believe it. Hey, if you're gonna pray about it, oh yes, gonna believe that. If you're gonna pray that, come on, y'all, throw me some hearts out there. Gonna have to believe that. Hey, if you're gonna pray about it, you gotta believe it. If you're gonna believe that, hey, starting today, troubles don't last long. Guess what? You gotta pray them away. Hey, if you're gonna pray that, y'all throw some hearts and show some love out there. Share divine music. I buried 2 of my kids, so now I'm sharing my journey with you. Gonna have to believe that. Alright, I know troubles and pain will come in our life, yes, but it requires your strength. your life that loves you right where you are. And ain't that what it's all about? You gotta believe. If you're gonna believe that, you gotta live it on the altar. See, ain't nobody like me, and I'm not like nobody. So messages from God.
Okay, y'all know how, a couple of episodes ago, I messed with her about me parking on what she called the cliff.
Oh, yeah.
But she calls it a cliff. I call it a bank.
Yes.
Well, y'all, she's got one on me now.
Oh, yes, y'all. You see, I have a man that went to war, right? And he's just always investigating and looking out. He's security 100% all the time. Even if you're a little 85-year-old woman on the cane and you moving too slow, he's going to watch you and make sure you ain't doing nothing you ain't supposed to do because he's just security.
She broke me.
But guess what? We was out one night on a date night. Y'all still do the date night,
Yes,
right?
date night.
And we was pulling in, and he heard a little something in the back there. He was like, "Hold on, don't you get out. I got this." Ooh, I was like, "Woo, go, baby. Woo, go, man." Y'all, I want y'all to take a look at this clip. He made fun of me. I didn't know he still could run like this. I'll be right back.
Right back.
Baby, what was that over there?
Where?
Over there.
I'm going to go see you. I'm about to get my baby. Hold on.
I ain't getting out the car.
I was in the Navy. I got this.
Okay, go ahead, Navy man. He's in the Navy. I'm so proud of that man. That man. I'm so proud of that man. That's my baby. That is my man. What he going to go see? What was that over there? I don't know what it was, but you know how we are with people.
Open the door.
Well, hurry up and get in. Hurry up and get in. What was it?
Cat. It was a cat.
A cat.
Yeah. It was going to scratch me. That thing big.
A meow?
Yeah, it was a cat. That's a big cat. Alley cat.
And you was in the Navy.
It don't matter, sure. That was a big cat.
Well, it wasn't like it was a submarine or anything. Okay. All right. Meow. Meow.
And a cat can mess you up. They even had an article months ago about how cats are killing their owners, and I'm not going to die with no cat. I didn't die in the Middle East. I ain't died by no cat.
Well, guess what? I mean, the only issue I had, and that bus said open the door. Like, we got a bed back there. All I got to do is jump in the back of the bed. I understand, baby, but you know, I got a window, the back seat window. That'd have been a nice little scrap. That would have been a nice scrap back there, though, boy. I'd love to see that, though.
No, he would die.
My baby took off, but you see why? You know what I'm saying? They don't pay to mess with your wife. Cause I got him back. He wasn't even expecting me to record him like that. I was just, oh, I'm so proud of my man. Oh, look at my war man. Get it, baby. That bud took off. I said, well, get on in then. Open the door and get on in. I was so thankful to all the people though we showed it on Facebook. They was like, "Girl, that mud was running. That was an alley
but
cat, girl."
It was gonna scratch him, is one comment.
Yeah, it was gonna scratch him, and I can't have nothing messing up my face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't do it. But payback is a mother right now.
Yes, it is.
Life and love after divorce, y'all. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, and welcome back.
Welcome back.
Baby, in this segment of the show is where we're going to be talking about, all jokes aside, but,
Yes.
How to deal with cheating in your marriage.
Cheating in your marriage.
It is a hurtful thing.
It can be very devastating.
Yeah.
Very devastating. Not only to just you, but if you have children, family members that love both of y'all, it can be a devastating thing, man.
You know, one thing that we've learned, and talking to other couples, and a lot of times we go on YouTube, and we want to thank all of you YouTubers and creators who share your stories, because it's open to people. And if we ever grab one of your stories off YouTube, we're going to first contact you to let you know that we're going to play a clip on our show, because number one, we ran across it. So to be able to support you and support your journey is important to us, because we are sharing our journey. But that's why it's called Life and Love After Divorce and Grief. Because grief can be more than just the death of someone. It can be the death of the relationship. You're having to bury it and let it go.
And how the relationship ended.
Can be very detrimental. And here shortly we're going to show a video of just some clips, or a clip of just some individuals who have success after their divorce. You don't have to allow infidelity to harbor your life. Sometimes people are trapped in marriages and they have nowhere else to go. There's women out here, I know there's a lot of women that don't drive.
Oh man,
they don't have driver's license, and they've been so dependent on someone else getting them around, their spouses getting them around. And they have no independence.
And then you have the situation, and I'm not going to say I was caught up in this, that I allowed myself to think that way. It's that you like, man, I got so much stuff. I've been here for 12 years. I mean, I'm not just stay miserable, just don't mess, have no relationship, just be a roommate. But that's not what God wants for anybody.
No.
Because stuff shouldn't keep you miserable.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Because it shouldn't matter how much possessions you have. That means that you're idling things and putting it over your worth. And the value of who you are. It says, when you think about it, when I think about sometimes when we're going over it, I think about dealing with cheating in a marriage. You have to have an understanding of the emotions that's associated with it, the communication that's associated with it, some strategies and potential outcomes in the healing process. And so for me, when I was cheated on, I have to go back into the root of the problem, and is that, my mother was cheated on, and a child was produced out of it. And so even though my mom kept us all together, and they were married, my parents were married till I was 18, so I was able to have my dad in my life the whole time, but I wasn't aware of what pain my mother carried. And sometimes when I look at the movie Ruth, which we watched over the weekend,
we sure did,
and I thought it was important to realize that in the midst of her going back home, a lot of times we get hurt and we go back home. But she said, some of the women there and the people of that town were like, oh, she's back. You don't have any responsibilities. You get to start your life over and things of this nature. But she was like, don't call me Naomi. Because Naomi meant something great or something special. But she was like, I'm a woman that's bitter. And that resonated with me, like, through pain and hurt, you become bitter. And you don't feel like you're deserving of anything good. So when you get somebody, you're expecting good, but because of your doubt and your fear and what you've projected out of your mouth, you've projected not a good partner. So when a partner comes, you're wanting them to be great, but you set them up to not be. So when it entered your life, you identified with the non-great man versus the great man. Because you didn't heal. So when you don't heal, you don't see good in others.
That baggage you bring in,
So it's like with Ruth, it's like even though she was happy and life was great, but she lost everything. And then, and to go back into a land and go home, sometimes going home is good, but sometimes going home can be a reflection of your pain. And you go back into that. It's like you almost got back into the marriage, even though you're out of the marriage. It's like you got back into it with the same individual. They just have a different face.
Because see, in her case, her husband and her sons died. But in the case of infidelity, and you go back home, you have to put up with and they don't mean no harm most of the times. You don't have those that do, but hey, what happened with you and so and so? I thought y'all were doing so good, And then it's kind of sad that the trials and tribulations that you did go through, especially if they were violent, and no one was able to offer any aid to you, because you lived in it in the dark. Now I understand what goes on at home, stay at home, but when it comes to
mistreating an individual emotionally, mentally, and physically, I feel like you do have to have an accountability person, someone that you can talk to where they're able to say, listen, you know, regardless of the fact, nobody deserves to put their hands on you. And
that's right, baby.
And
That's
if
right.
you from that point on are encouraged not to put up with that, it doesn't matter if you don't want to leave the relationship. If they don't care enough but to keep hurting you in that area,
that's right.
You need to get advice from somebody, because you don't want to harm yourself.
Exactly.
Because of somebody else harming you.
And you know, and before I even say it, let me go ahead and preface it with this. I'm not putting nobody down in the church.
Right.
I'm not singling out no one person. But it's just sometimes on the religious side, it bothers me because they get all this discernment about everything in your life that they think they hear from God. But you at home getting beat, but they ain't getting no discernment about that. That bothers me.
Right. And that's why we're going to release it today, because at the end of the day, sometimes what bothers us is what we didn't do.
Exactly. Man, that's
you feel me?
Yes,
and so some of the things that we didn't do is why it bothers you, because now through your healing and coming back and you get back into another relationship, you find out where you're still hurt.
That's right.
In a new relationship.
Yes, you do. Yes,
because sometimes things can look like it's the same or it resembles it.
Yes.
But it's how you handled it then and how you gonna handle it now. And back then you didn't stand up for yourself. So now in the good relationship, you're standing up for yourself on everything. And everything you don't need to stand up for, because if someone loves you right where you are, that's why he brought you together to help mend some of those broken areas.
That's right.
Because together the two broken pieces build, form something really beautiful.
Oh yes.
So you can't look at the hurts of someone else.
That's right.
And not look at yours.
That's definitely right.
Because sometimes we'll keep pointing the finger at the other person or falsely accuse somebody of something because you didn't know how to handle it yourself.
Right.
And so I tell people all the time, individually get help.
Yes.
Through me being bipolar when I lost my kids, it was labeled a long time and I never sought the help, because you think you can handle it. You think I ain't labeled by this and your faith lets you carry on. But at the end of the day,
yes,
in some form or fashion, when you find yourself going off course, in your religious state, you are trusting God and you are trusting a lot of things. But sometimes in trusting just the people at your church is trusting them with your personal life and your business. And what if you fall out with that person? Like that person
create more hurt
in your life, or it becomes a part of someone's sermon and you're thinking, Lord, are they talking about me? And sometimes your life story is a great story, but it should be you telling it.
I'll tell you what, baby.
It should be you telling it. It should be nobody else telling your story, because I'm like you. If God has a discernment to tell you who somebody should be with or what somebody should be doing in their life, then the same God should have that same discernment to let you know something's wrong in that person's life. So just as much as he'd want you to come in where you think it's love, where is he at?
And not to be judged, or labeled.
Right.
He should let you know. When God does it, you won't be judged or labeled.
Correct.
Right. And you know what? Something I didn't tell you. Today at work, I was looking at a video on bipolar, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to really start doing some research, because it's stuff that people don't know, but they want to label you.
Right.
And it hit me when they said trauma. It's like a tearing of the soul.
Right.
And the anger and the hurt and all this, man. Yeah.
It's deep.
It's deep.
Because
it's really deep. But see, the good news is that in watching this, and I'm gonna research this some more. So many people have been delivered. Yeah.
Because it's the environment you put yourself back in. Think about it. If you have been raped by somebody.
That's right.
And you go to court, you get free, you get free, but they go to jail, or the situation, it manifests itself and you go in your separate ways. But can you imagine you still got to go in the building where the rapist lives?
Oh man.
So even though you're free from this person, you don't have to go. He has to be 1,000 feet from you, or they have to do this, or they have to do that. But they still live in the building. Your soul is still torn every time you got to walk into the building. You feel me? Even though you might not even see the person.
Yes, and watching this video, and you told me this, and I'm gonna be honest. I was like, well, she ain't no doctor. She don't know. You told me PTSD and bipolar is
There are a lot.
watching this video, you might as well say they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it was talking about how people with PTSD are two people.
Yeah.
They're good until they're triggered with, something that caused the PTSD.
Right.
And it's like they're a whole totally different person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why when they say bipolar, bi's too.
Right.
And it's not that you really are two people. It's just it's some spirits that you're battling between good and evil.
Right.
The situation happened,
That's right.
but are you looking at the positive of why it happened? Or you focus more on the negative why it happened? Because everything comes with a plus and a minus.
Minus, yes, it does.
So even with having a heart attack, strokes, and illnesses, there's something good that comes out of getting it. Because one, your faith rises up.
Yes.
You become around other people that are more into what it is
That's
that
right.
you are going through. Because
right.
versus you going through it alone, you don't eat right. Nobody's there to monitor your food and your intake and how you should live your lifestyle. So you're forced to now have a better lifestyle because now you're around people that have the same issue
right.
as you. And one of the things we learned about a message your sister gave this past Sunday,
it was awesome.
when we talk about the woman with the bleeding issue in the
Right.
Bible. And one of the things that, when I gave a teaching on this, when I gave the revelation of what God gave me about this about the message was that faith came by hearing. Because
yes.
this woman had no social life.
That's right.
She had no friends. She
Right.
wasn't able to be around
Right.
people. And so she ran out of money. So like your sister had brought, so she obviously had some
Right.
for her to run out.
Right.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, when you're thinking about this story, she had to hear about Jesus and
yes.
what he did because she never got to see people.
Right.
She never got to see the miracles or or anything. So faith came by hearing. So at the end of the day, in your divorce, when you're thinking about emotional responses to discovering infidelity such as betrayal, anger, and sadness, when you get cheated on, it is a level of anger, but you also got to look at the act of the person and the act of you.
That's right.
Because you're one person.
That's right.
So you got to say to yourself, if someone has committed adultery in their marriage, as a woman, the first thing, before you think about the other woman, the first thing you got to think about as the woman is how often were you intimate? When did it stop?
Yes.
You got to think about the things that you did that put a wall up first. Because you see, if you thinking they didn't, if you thinking they're cheated on you, you're gonna put a wall up emotionally. You're not
Right.
connected no more.
Right.
You stop doing your duties. You don't want to cook. You start being an investigator. You start accusing.
Yes.
And it goes on both ends. So when
right.
one person is saying it, then you're saying it, and it's just two sides constantly accusing
Right.
one another.
Right.
You're speaking infidelity into your marriage.
Right. That's right.
Now, thing about me is I can't be with a man
That's
that cheats
right.
on me.
That's
If you
right.
cheat on me, you might as well stay where you
I know
was
that's
at.
right, baby.
Because coming back to me,
I know
I'm
that's
not
right.
going to have it.
And that's the same with me with a woman.
Yeah, I don't want to come
I'm
behind
out.
nobody. I
Yeah.
just, and people need to understand
That's
this.
dangerous because you got all these STDs floating around. And
Too much stuff.
Too
And we
much
got
stuff.
diseases you can't even get. They ain't even from this country. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, I don't want to come behind nothing. No
I know
ramen
that's right.
noodles,
For
no
real.
no
For real,
cookies, no
baby.
sarku, no jakakakito. I won't come behind nothing. I won't come behind nothing.
But I think for me, from the experiences I've had being cheated on, I think the betrayal of it is the part that hurts the most.
Correct.
That's
Because you come back like nothing happened.
right.
You cannot speak for days. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like it not coming home. I don't believe in, running and staying at somebody's house. And we
Right.
talked about that all the time. I don't care if it's mama's parents or
Right,
whatever.
right.
If you married, take your butt home.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
if I'm a parent and my son and his wife having a problem, you ain't staying in my house, you're going to go home. Now, if the situation need to calm down, both of y'all come to my house.
That's right.
Because my house becomes the refuge. I'm not about to carry all that in my house. I'm going to feed
Exactly.
you and sing you to bed. But the thing, or sing you to dinner or something.
Yeah.
But, we can't condone wrong.
That's right, baby.
We got to teach our women and our men that when you're married, you're one.
That's right.
So don't come over here with a one-sided story.
Exactly.
'Cause
Because there's always both sides of the story, then there's the truth.
And so for a woman to feel like if a man don't come home and she think he's cheating, well, somebody need to tell that man when you did come home,
Right.
that's why she thought that way.
Exactly.
And if you keep doing it, she gonna keep thinking it. So if you just trying to go,
Right.
go. Cause that's gonna get you
Right.
gone anyway, or she's gonna leave. You're gonna come home and she ain't gonna be there.
Exactly.
Cause women are different than men. Men are very verbally hurtful. They get mad at you, and men verbally hurt us, and it breaks us down. And men can tell you you cheat and you doing all these things, and women know that ain't what they really do. But you can hurt a woman emotionally so bad that she shuts down and she's working on her exit plan.
That's right.
And I'm gonna tell you something about a woman too. If y'all been really mean to each other, and really like not getting along, and here in this video we're gonna show y'all about just sometimes it don't work out.
That's right.
Sometimes you can try counseling, you can try a lot of things, it just don't work. But I'm gonna tell you why it don't work. You verbally, because people say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's
true.
A lie.
Not true at all.
Words can break you down so bad.
That's right.
To where you got to know in your mind that you're so broken that nothing they say pierces your heart anymore. It's piercing anger.
That's right.
And eventually, a woman will shut down, and she can still be intimate with you. That ain't gonna be where she shut down at. She gonna shut down in finances, because she gonna start saving money. She gonna shut down because she gonna start looking for outlets in different ways, but she can still take care of home. See, men don't do that. Men break down. Y'all start not coming home. Y'all don't talk. Y'all go all day not talking. Separate. Be on your phone. Play games. Y'all are so different. We're not. We can look. We can tell something's wrong with you because how you treating us. Women can do just the opposite. We can still cook, clean, do what we gotta do. But we out next Friday on the 13th at 7:45 p.m. getting on the plane, leaving. You feel me? Like we got our stuff ready to go, and you'll never know. But men are opposite. They do it and they mean with it, and it hurts the woman. And verbally, they want to hurt you because at the end of the day, if they didn't, they would never say those things. And we always talk about honoring marriage. And if you're going to honor the marriage, honor it all the time, even in the midst of fights and arguments. Don't disappear on your spouses.
Exactly.
Because that sets up the devil. That lets the devil have a way in. It does.
And the thoughts.
And then you got to think about, emotions for both partners. A lot of times people just focus on one person. So if I'm the woman, everybody just don't believe what I say. If you the man, you go your side of the room. Everybody ain't believing everything you say because I'm going to tell you why. They know how you got together.
That's right.
See, if we were such bad people, if you and who you was with were such bad people, you'd have knew it from the beginning.
Exactly.
You would have constantly been fighting battles of what people had to say. But none of that ever happened in your relationship. So you can't let it happen when you're having a problem.
Exactly.
Because then that lets you know someone's talking about your business. And when people start talking about your business and know your business, family or friends. That's how other people end up in your mix.
That's it.
That's how you end up cheating, whether it's flirting, whether it's being in the same room with them, is putting yourself in a situation where that person knows they got you in some form. And then that can get back to your wife because now there's pictures that can be taken. You can be over there, they can be over there, but that person keeps showing up and everywhere you at. Woman ain't stupid, okay? And vice versa with men. Then also, we're going to, this video we're about to show you is just how in victory, you can find victory after the divorce. And there are some couples that have gotten back together after infidelity. But my question is, do you ever trust them again?
See, that's the thing for me, and I know a couple. I know a couple that did get back together, and they're doing very great, But and I know it took some healing, you know what I mean. But for me, I don't, just the type of person I am. I would never trust you again, Never.
Yeah, and I think I would never trust that person because marriage is intimate.
Yes, it is.
And to violate that, just you don't know where that other person that they was with, who they were with.
Exactly.
I mean, it was bad enough you got to deal with who each other was with. And we older. You feel me? I don't want to add on an extra person and they know you was married and they didn't care.
Exactly.
Is to me traps.
Yeah. Oh,
They're Delilah traps.
Exactly.
And even when we watched the Bible series, I suggest y'all get on, what was that, Tubi or
No, that
Prime
that was on Prime Video. Man, yes.
Y'all go watch the Bible series. It's really
very good.
awesome. And we've been doing that on the weekends.
Yes, we have.
Just, kind of like we read the Bible, and sometimes reading the Bible, you picture things.
Yeah.
But it seems like when you actually watch these
You get more
series,
revelation.
you get more revelation
Yes.
of not only what you seeing, but what you've heard all
Exactly.
these years. You get to picture it.
Exactly.
And when we were watching Samson and Delilah,
Right.
and one thing I learned about Samson and Delilah is my interpretation was I thought the king
Had sent
her to Samson,
no.
because they was wanting to find out what his strength was, where it came from,
Yeah.
But Samson had just, killed a bunch of people,
Right.
and the Philistines,
Yeah.
and he was just sitting on
resting?
just resting when
Thirsty?
this woman came by with some water. And he didn't even ask for it. He was like, "Give me your water,"
He sure did.
and just started drinking. But she was not sent to him.
That's right.
She came. They had a divine. I can't even say a divine, but they just by chance met. And by doing so and giving him water, and they got together because he was fighting Philistines and killing them.
That's
and not
right,
supposed
that's
to be
right.
with one.
Right.
And that's his first wife was killed.
Right. Exactly.
Who was a Philistine woman. So he ended
That's
up with
why he
another
ended up
one.
killing all them because
Yeah,
they killed his
because
first
they
wife.
killed his first wife, and and it's like when you don't really know. It's like I've read, but I've skipped.
Right.
It goes to show when you skip, be real, y'all. That's the only way you're gonna be delivered.
Right.
If you tell the truth.
I know the king didn't send Delilah, but I dang sure know the devil set
did.
it up. Yeah,
he set it up. Because she ended up, telling his secret. But the thing is, he should have never revealed it to her.
He shouldn't.
And some things, and that's why I was saying about sometimes when you're dealing with infidelity in your marriage, first of all, you don't need to tell nobody.
That's right.
You do need to take it to the Lord, and then you do, sometimes you do need counseling, because it's a hard thing to swallow.
Right. And some people are blessed to have that true friend.
Yeah.
That they're gonna take whatever you tell them to the grave.
Yeah.
And it's good if you have one of those to be able to talk to. You know what I mean?
Because it says, communication and setting boundaries. It says emphasize the role of open communication in rebuilding trust and understanding motivations behind cheating. So you got to think about, whoever, even if you're going to get divorced, because that's what this one clip that we had talked about, through all the counseling and through all the emotions and talking about, the faults of each person. Write them down. First of all, don't just be mad and start what you assume that someone has done.
Exactly.
Because just because what you assume don't make it true.
That's right. That's right.
If you mess up, you should be able to fess up.
That's right.
So
exactly.
you need to be able on one side put down your wrongs.
That's right.
And then put down your rights. Because one of them going to outweigh each other, sure enough.
That's right.
But it's nothing wrong with your wrongs outweighing your rights, because your wrongs can be fixed.
That's right.
Before it's too late.
That's right, baby.
So even in getting in a renewed relationship and after you've been divorced, you're going to have to sit down and get counseled before you get in a relationship to be counseled to be married.
Okay. Now,
you feel me?
We're going to take a look at this clip. We're going to come back because of time restraints. And when we come back, we're going to discuss this clip
a little more.
When you experience infidelity in your marriage, it can literally turn your world upside down. If you've dealt with that, or maybe you're going through that now, and you've decided to stay together and make it work, then this video is for you. I work with couples all the time who want to save their marriage, and I'm here to tell you that if both of you truly want the marriage to work, then it can. If you haven't decided for sure that you want to stay and work on it, then this video is not for you. This video is for those who've already decided to stay, but they're unaware how to do that. Okay, it's about taking your marriage from surviving after infidelity to thriving. The fact that you've experienced this devastating reality and decided to work on it, number one, first, I want to applaud you. That's not an easy thing to do. That's not an easy decision. But I want to give you some tips to help you get off the struggle bus and onto a better marriage. You need to believe that you can have a better marriage, and a better one than it was before. The marriage you had before, it's gone, it's dead, it's over. You're going to create something new. Okay, couples who are successful at navigating these troubled waters end up with a stronger and more intimate marriage, typically. Now, I'm gonna give you 5 tips for the cheater. I'm gonna give you 5 tips for the victim or the one who was cheated on, and then I'm gonna give you 5 tips for you guys as a couple, like for the marriage. Okay. So first, for the cheater, number 1, you need to become a transparent person. If you're not already a transparent person, you need to become a transparent person, not just an honest person. Honesty is when you tell the truth when you're asked, but transparency is about volunteering information without being asked. Okay? Your partner does not want to have to ask you things about what's going on in your life. If you already have difficulty sharing your world, then this may be harder than normal for you, but you need to get away from that. Okay? Most of the people I deal with do not want to be the kind of spouse that checks the phone and always questioning, where you going? Where you been? Like, who wants to do that? So you need to help them out by being upfront and open about everything, even if you think it's not a big deal. Also, in conjunction with being transparent, make sure that there are no more secrets. Okay, so if you guys are in the beginning, this is especially true for you, but even if it's been some years and you're trying to work on it, but you hadn't gotten that traction yet, make sure there are no more secrets. Okay, if you're trying to rebuild, but you haven't told your partner everything, you are setting yourself up for more trauma and drama. Number 2, you have to learn how to comfort your partner when they're dealing with the pain of what you did. You got to learn how to comfort them. A lot of times, and men and women cheat, but most of the time it's women, right? And when they see their wife hurting, they want to go the other way and give her space. And no, yeah, you may want to give them space. That's when you actually need to come close to them. Okay. Now, of course, you got to learn from them how to comfort them, but make sure that you are ready and willing to be their rock. Now, I understand that this is hard. One thing I tell my offenders is try to see yourself as your partner's best friend, as opposed to seeing yourself as their spouse in those particular times, right? Tell yourself, I'm going to comfort my friend about what their spouse did. It sounds crazy, but until you are secure enough to hear and see their pain without running away or without being defensive, then you're going to prolong the pain. So find a way to be the comfort that they need.
Welcome back, y'all. Let's discuss this video that we just saw.
Discuss how setting healthy boundaries can help in the healing process. So in the midst of communication, just make sure that when you're talking about things and you say you have an understanding about them.
That's right.
Really have an understanding about them.
Exactly.
Because if you do it to that person again and hurt them, then
that's just a slap in the face.
That's just a slap in the face.
And it causes issues, trust me.
Include a lesser known fact about how couple therapy can significantly improve communication and increase chances of reconciliation. So sometimes you got to go to an outside source.
Yeah.
It's great to talk to your pastor. It's good to talk to leaders and people of this nature. But if you don't feel comfortable sharing all of your personal business with someone that you fellowship with, work with, to me, that should be off limits. Right. I mean,
yeah, because eventually, somehow, your business gets put out.
It gets put out in some form, even if it's in the altar.
Right.
Deciding the future of the relationship. So explore the options couples have after infidelity, including reconciliation, separation, or divorce. So even though you're having issues, the first thing ain't divorce. It should be separation.
That's right.
In any midst of any problem. Because one thing we learned about a movie we watched, if you're going to go home, and this is 100, I really feel this way. If you're going to go home, it should be because it's over.
I agree to that.
Because our parents, when you got parents that are old, 70, 80, 90 years old, okay, they made it to the wedding, first of all. They was part of it and happy and gloating. But when you have problems and issues, if both of y'all ain't going to be at the parents' house to get the support, and one of y'all are always absent, to me, and this is just my personal opinion,
Right.
it hurts the marriage because you're not getting counsel for one.
Right.
Because
Not getting
we're
counsel for
one.
both, you're supposed to be getting counsel.
Yeah, because
Right,
you're one
right,
person.
right,
We're
right.
not divided. So
Right.
I don't want my mama telling me something she wouldn't tell you, and I don't
Right.
want your mama telling you something she wouldn't tell me.
Exactly,
So if we're
exactly.
never together, for them to say it to us together,
Yeah, right.
like when we take gifts and presents, don't we give them together?
Exactly.
So I
exactly.
want my advice together,
I know,
and
that's
my
right.
support, my prayer, and my encouragement
Exactly.
for both of us, so that we take it as one.
That's right.
Because otherwise, you know, you can read between the lines of things, and
That's
people
it.
feel hurt.
That's it, baby.
Discuss factors that might influence these decisions, such as children, financial considerations, and personal values. So you got to think about the time invested. You got to think about kids.
Yes.
You got to think about your finances. You know, some people ain't invested nothing,
That's
so they
right.
don't care to
That's
lose
right.
everything, 'cause they ain't got nothing.
That's true, baby.
So
That's
you
true.
got to know, first of all, have love.
That's it.
If you have that, you have nothing anyway.
Right.
Share an inspiring story. So as you saw earlier, you know, people can find love again.
Yes.
Individual healing and self-care for both partners, regardless
That's
of the
right.
relationship's outcome. So even if you decide to split, you know, it took the decision for us to split our spouses
Yes.
and go on with our lives before we were able to find each other.
Exactly.
We got personal growth. We're starting a support group. You know, having this podcast gives us a great
That's
outlet.
right. That's right.
You know, and then I think about, you know, sometimes, you know, you think of preachers and you think of celebrities, and, you know, sometimes the relationships work, sometimes they don't.
That's right.
But you have to love yourself enough to know that you
Exactly.
draw to you who you are.
That's right.
So even when sometimes, you know, the battle is, you know, you feel like, okay, I can't find nobody, whatever. First of all, quit saying you can't find nobody.
That's right.
And say to yourself, Lord, you know, I know who I am, and I want to draw to me who I am.
Okay.
Because if you love who you are, then you're going to love you coming into your life. You're going to love you even more.
Right.
Because you got someone that loves like you love.
Right.
And so you want someone that's going to fight for the relationship. And even in fighting for the relationship might mean fighting for peace. So it means even if it means separation or divorce,
Right.
fight for it together so that you can leave with a clean
Exactly.
slate
Exactly.
and move on and not bring trauma into the next
The next
relationship, because that person isn't responsible for
Exactly.
what someone else did to
Exactly.
you.
Exactly.
So, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this
Yes.
episode of our
Yes.
show,
That's right.
Life and Love After Divorce, and how to deal with infidelity in your marriage.
That's right.
If you decide not to be together, first of
right.
all, a godly person will never just tell you to leave them or get divorced. They will always tell you to
Right.
talk to somebody.
That's right.
To separate for a little while,
Right.
because sometimes the separation is just a window of opportunity for you to really see what you have.
Exactly.
And mutually decide on that separation. It shouldn't just be one person
Right.
deciding
Exactly.
that I'm going to leave and
Exactly.
I'm going to do this.
Right.
Because that just tells the other person that's sitting around waiting on you to
Right.
come back to bring some
Yeah.
closure. You didn't get time away.
Right.
You didn't get a week or 2 weeks
Right.
to be by yourself.
Exactly.
So make sure you mutually agree on the space
Yes.
and time that you're going to spend apart. And hopefully,
That's right.
you know, people don't have to get divorced if they don't have to, but
That's
don't
right.
move into infidelity unless you're really on your way out. Get out of the situation before you hurt
Yeah,
somebody.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
don't hurt the person and then try to come back and make
Exactly.
it get back and
Exactly.
be intimate.
Exactly.
To me, that's just wrong.
It is wrong. It's very wrong.
So on our
Very wrong.
next show, we're going to be talking about grief.
That's right.
And in grief of anything, I've buried 2 of my children. You know, you've lost some relatives, even losing our close friends. You know, we both have lost
Yes.
some really good friends to us. And how life does have to go on after
Yes,
grief.
that's
And
right.
there's some exciting things that comes with moving
That's
on.
right,
And
that's
our
right.
show is not just about the downside of it,
Exactly.
but the upside of it. And we hope that we can bring some inspiration to you.
That's right.
Even though through some of our mistakes and through some of the challenges
right.
that not only we went through, but
Exactly.
some of you have been through. But to
Exactly.
know that you can love
right.
again. So make sure you go to our website, soulsrighthouse.com. If you're interested in submitting any of your
That's right.
speeches or your singing or dancing, and you'd like to get on our show, all you got to do is go to soulsrighthouse.com/RSVP. And there you'll get all the information
right.
and how to submit your video. And we got a new tab on our thing called Shari Productions.
That's right.
And what does Shari stand for?
That's Charles and Cherie put together, y'all.
Together. So we used to be KBD Productions,
Right.
but when we got married, that changed.
That's right.
And we're now Shari Productions, where we put our name together. And through that service on our website, all you got to do is go to the Shari Souls ENT.
That's right.
And when you go there, it's going to bring you to the website where my husband is an HVAC engineer. So if you're somebody out there that has AC
right.
issues, first of all, turn that AC off and let it unfreeze and give us
That's right,
24
especially if
hours.
it's frozen.
Yeah, give us 24 hours to come out. $55 service fee
Right.
to come and diagnose your problem before you call anybody else to come fix your unit. You might want to call my husband and come get that service fee. He's going to tell you the truth of what's
sure
really
am.
going on, whether you need a real compressor or you need a capacitor. You know what I'm saying? We talking about $2,500, $25. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, just give my husband a call. He does several things,
right.
including our video production. He also does event media setup. So if you're someone out here having an event, you're needing quality, good video, no shaking involved, please give us a call. Again, that's soulsrighthouse.com/contact us. And sweetie, this has been a wonderful
It's been
show.
a wonderful show, baby. And hey, join our Facebook group.
Yep. And it's Souls Right House. So that's Souls Right House all across the board. Souls
it.
Right House on YouTube, Instagram, and also on Facebook. We thank y'all again
Thank
for
you
joining us.
Love you, baby.
Mwah.
Gotta believe it. If you wanna pray that, if you wanna pray that, gonna have to believe that. If you gonna pray that, gonna have to believe that. If you gonna believe, starting today, troubles don't last long. Come on, you gotta pray them away. I know trouble and pain will come in our lives, yes, but it requires your strength and your prayers beforehand. Alright, take the time to go to the Master for His answer. Go to Yahweh and just pray and know that you'll see and your answers pray. If you're gonna pray, if you're gonna pray about it, gonna have to believe. If you're gonna pray, if you're gonna pray about it, alright. You gotta believe. If you're gonna pray, I
Again, thank you for tuning in to Life and Love After Divorce and Grief podcast. Stay connected on our website at soulsrighthouse.com. Situations